Latinx.
Latinx? What is that?
I think Latinx is sort of like an equanimous, equanimous. I have trouble with that word. It's like kind of a in the Latin culture, everything is like a gendered word,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Masculine or feminine word, yeah.
right, and it's kind of to identify people by like to say like this person is a Latin woman or Latin man. It's really kind of, I don't know, sexist. Like, why don't we just all be people? You know, to say like that person right there is this gender. It's a sort of like, what the fuck? It doesn't matter that this is a man or a woman. Why can't we just be like, there's a Latin person? It's just a Latin person, just like the same as
Well,
that's a
you're
African
idealistic.
American. You
You're
know,
idealistic like me, but I think but we have way different views, as you know. But that's just not how the world works. I mean, it would be nice, but some things to me aren't practical. Like, I
it's
don't know.
taking hold. It really is. Like, it's coming around, and people are really using it more.
Well, we're having a peaceful conversation, but we're on two different movements, I guess. I think you're in the LBGTQ. Is that how you say it? I'll say that, or the alphabet community, because I was like,
I
I
call it
was,
the alphabet community too.
yeah, I'm like, and I'm a part of
LGBTQIA plus.
yes,
Like,
yeah, I don't even know what that is, yeah, and I'm a part of the red pill community, so
red pill.
yeah.
Never heard of that.
Oh,
What's
you
that?
probably would not like me if you knew what that was.
Are you like a QAnon person, or what is that?
No, QAnon. No, 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 no.
Okay,
Red,
good. All right.
red pill is pretty much like men's rights,
Uh-huh.
men's issues, like the
Mm-hmm.
manosphere,
Mm-hmm.
where they talk about, issues that pertain to men and, our culture and how we need to be more accountable and hold women accountable. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
that's
I
my
mean,
flag.
so like regular world, the regular world,
No, no, not the red world.
where the men have the rights to do the
No,
things.
that's how it's
We've already
perceived.
had this. We've had
Yeah,
this conversation
I know
before.
you think we live in a patriarchy, and I'm like, no, we don't.
Do
But
we live in a matriarchy though? When when you say it's not a matriarchy,
well, let's just look at the media control. Let's just look at, how things are perceived. Because I mean, like, we could, like, your instance of a homeless person, right? You were a child, but if you look at the average homeless man, are they going to get sympathy like they would a woman or children? No, like a woman's shelter. I mean, what is there, like one? I think one in the whole United States. I think maybe one's in Phoenix. Don't quote me on that. I have to look that up. But I think there's like one men's shelter in all of the United States. And let's not
there's
talk
one
about,
man's shelter.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. They're literally just one. And there let's not even talk about, like, where's there a safe space for, like, single fathers or just like men of domestic violence. I mean, yes, women get hit too, but I'm just saying that's what the red pill community is about, like, men's rights and their issues, because they get overlapped. I mean, there's dozens of shows on mainstream media with women just clapping with toxic ideas and laughing that men get played or they get their genitals chopped off or whatever. I could never go on a mainstream show and go, yeah, I chopped this woman's bits up, and all the men, the predominantly men in the audience, are like clapping. We get canceled. It'd be terrible. I mean, the only people allowed on TV are panderers, like, I don't know, Steve Harvey, where they, or Dr. Phil, where they just say what a lot of women like, and and they clap, and it's like, so we have to be on YouTube and Reddit and all that good stuff to just talk about men's issues in a safe space, so we don't get canceled. Because, if you just speak how men speak in general, people like us talk about, that's how we speak. We call each other out on our bullshit. We don't sugarcoat it, like, hey man, you're such and such age, you need to get your shit together. Not, well, you spoke a little mean to him and the tone, no, fuck tone. It's the truth. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
We hold each other accountable. Women are different. They're more emotional. We get it. But, you know, like I said before, it's not about the tone, it's the message. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm an asshole, okay, but take the message away. You don't have to like me, but it's the message. And I just wish more women would, you know, get on that subscription train and be like, okay, we should be held accountable more.
I think everyone should be held accountable. I think that men should hold each other accountable for like their behavior. I think that
stop sticking your dick in every place. Stop doing that. You know, you're responsible for that. I mean, like I said, there shouldn't be any accidental pregnancies anymore. Stop fucking all these randoms. And if you know these chicks are crazy, that's your fault if you got a fucked up baby mama because she keyed your car and took your shit. Why'd you get her pregnant? What's wrong with you? Come on, bro. And at the same time, there are what, 30 plus different contraceptives for women before and after. Why are you getting accidentally pregnant? Because you want this. You like, let me let this rando raw dog me. Yeah, it's like let him raw dog me. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh well, no, that's not. Oh well, that's a fucking baby. That's serious. It's not like fucking buying a car or a Birkin bag. I mean, that's serious. So that's what I said. I think each camp should hold their gender accountable. And we're on the red pill. We're doing that shit to us. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
I think it really should be more socially acceptable for men to go and get vasectomies. They're reversible. And why is that not a thing that men do? Just like the same way that women go, oh yeah, I'm on the pill, whatever. Men are like, oh, I don't want to go get my stuff cut up. Women go and get their tubes tied. It's not reversible.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you want to,
but that's a choice, though. I mean, I don't think that's looked down upon. That's just a choice. But I mean, as you know, men control relationships and marriage, and women control sex. I can't have access to you unless you allow me to have sex with you, unless I force myself, and that's not happening like all the time. It does happen, but it's not happening all the time. So if you don't want to have sex, you have access to it. Now, if you want to get married and I don't want to, we control the marriage and relationships. Like, you know, I don't want to date with you. I just want to have sex. That's what we control. So it's like,
I don't relate because I'm always like, can we have sex now? And I'm like, oh, no, okay. Like, I feel like I take on that, you know.
Well, you being, I guess you're queer, right? Okay. You being queer, you know, I'm sure have masculine energy. So you're kind of like a female man, you know, you probably act like a man, and you're probably the man and the dominant figure in your partnership, your relationship. You're probably not the feminine one. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not, even if you, I'm not usually the feminine one, even if you look at my partner who looks more androgynous or looks more masculine than me.
But I'm talking about persona, energy, the energy you give me, the persona you give me or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get personal, but you're like, I know who's wearing the strap-on in the family. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, I try to like keep things equal.
Yeah. You know, I just had a discussion with one of my coworkers. Yeah. She was saying women and men are equal. And I was like, no, we're not. And she might be a feminist like you, and that's fine. But I'm like, we're not equal. We compliment each other, but we're not equal. We're equal. I feel like you can feel the way you want, but biology and data would prove that we're not equal. Like I said, okay,
maybe we're egalitarian. Maybe there's equal, maybe there's egalitarian. It means we have these sort of qualities here. Maybe men have these sort of qualities.
You can have similar qualities because we're more alike. We're more alike personality wise and aggression wise. You know, there's obviously more. If you take 100 people, you know, there's going to be more aggressive men out of that pool. Like if you take 100 men and 100 women, there's probably going to be like maybe 75 aggressive men and maybe 25 aggressive women. That's just, we're more aggressive with testosterone, right? But I'm saying, like, I asked her name 3 things or a few things that women can do that men can't. She just fired off. I just thought, hey, I can't have a child. That's just number one thing for me. I cannot give birth. I cannot do that. I can create life, but I cannot give birth, right? then I asked, okay, so what can men do that women can't? And she just stood there for like literally 20, 30 seconds and was like, I said, well, that tells me right there you have a low opinion of men. You probably don't respect men and you think they're lesser than. She's like, no. I'm like, what? I said, okay, one thing about strength. And then she gave me this, what a lot of modern women do is she gave me anecdotal evidence trying to sidestep empirical data. Like, I said, women
I just
can't.
thought of like 3 things right off the top of my head and like
Yeah.
2.5
Well, it's just,
seconds.
I was like, okay, because she said, I said, okay, one thing they can't do is they can't do prolonged uh strength-based hardcore labor. And she goes, that's not true. I know two of my friends, they're a roofer. I'm like, that's not hardcore labor. That's roofing. I'm talking about a jackhammer. I'm talking about bricklaying. I'm talking about like, being like a lumberjack logging and stuff like
It's
that.
like the
Like,
upper body strength,
yes, I'm
lung
saying that.
capacity.
Yeah.
Like it's a testosterone offers
And
the
like
lung capacity and upper body strength.
I was arguing against the point where I was like, listen, I know that people have argued about the pay gap. We've had discussions about that, but like I explained that before, there is a pay gap. There is, but there's reasons behind it, and I explained that before. And like I said before, if it was like that, the blue collar field, a lot of stuff like welding or whatever, pipe fitting, it pays very well. And if it was like that, women would crowd it, but a lot of them don't want to do it because women are interested in more. I mean, I'm in a woman-dominated industry in nursing. I'm particularly interested in people. That's like a woman type thing or whatever. Now women are interested in people, and men are interested in things. That's probably why they're more engineers or whatever. And like I said before, my friend that works in he's a pipe fitter. He's like, out of 80 guys, there's probably like maybe 2 or 3 females, and they hold their own, but I mean, it's not a lot. That's what I was trying to explain to my coworker, and she was like, no, it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's not. Exceptions don't make the rule. If a 40-year-old just goes off the street and goes, we're going to try for the NFL, he makes it, that doesn't mean every 40-year-old can do that. That's called an outlier. That's an exception to the rule. That doesn't mean that's the rule. I tried to explain this to her, and she was like, no, that's not true. I'm like, okay, we're equal.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that women have a very important role in society. We have a good capacity for like a lot of things.
Well, you're the support system. You're important. You're the support system, and we could not further the human race without women.
Yeah.
Like I said this before, and people got like butthurt and they got offended. Like men don't need women because we can survive without you. We only need you guys to procreate. Without you, there would be no other generations. But we would live to our old age because we could survive. We're built that way. We have more endurance and everything. We're built, you know what I'm saying, our hand strength, everything else. But people, when I said that, a lot of these modern women, they've been force-fed this. I'm a woman, hear me roar, and that's great. But they're like, I'm invincible. I'm like a man. Like, no, you're not. You can be fantastic. And there's a small minority group that can handle their own versus men, and some more than men. But that's not the norm. That's not the norm. Which I know, like I said before, I keep it real here, and that's why you don't see trans men destroying sports, but you see trans women destroying sports. And I get the eye. I'm like, listen, I'm being respectful, and I say that trans women should compete against other trans women. If I was a woman, I would be fucking pissed. Like, you motherfucker. Like, I got the new weight welcome lift. I'm the new biking thing.
This argument about the transgender sports situation, it's sort of like I have this this whole like, what's the alternative situation? Like, people have this whole like, oh well, they shouldn't be in sports. Well,
no, they should be in sports.
Yeah, well, so your stance on it is that we should be allowing the trans women in women's sports, trans men and male sports.
No, that's not my stance.
Okay, so
my stance is that trans athletes should compete against other trans athletes. They should be
So
they should be definitely be in sports. But if
So
I'm a
it's like-
trans female, I should compete against another trans female. There's more than one, so I should let me compete against another trans female, and we'll see who's the best, because it's just not fair. If you can look, I'll be PC, and I'll branch and say, okay, fine, a trans woman is a woman. Not a biological woman, but I'll say you're a woman, I'll be respectful. Fine, cool. But it's not effing fair that you have 30 years, you decide to transition when you're 30 years old, you got freaking dense bone density and all the testosterone and all this other stuff in your body. You have a freaking advantage over a woman, and you could fuck her up in sports. It is dominating, it's demoralizing.
What about these teenagers who started doing like hormone blockers, taking hormone blockers?
I'm not a
16?
fan of that. I'm not a fan of that.
Well, yeah, I'm on the fence about it
because they're
too.
children. They're children. They know what the fuck they want. Like, oh, I want to shave the side of my head and put earrings in my whatever. You look, I got piercings too. I'm not tripping, but I'm saying you're experimenting. When you're 18 and you're under my roof, after that, you can do what fuck you. You can do the fuck you want. You can do whatever you want. Because you're an adult.
My thing about that is too. Yeah, it's like there's a certain like level where, okay, like let's not let the kids have so much bodily autonomy that we just let them go bananas with their hormones. But
it's society.
If we're talking about mental health.
But there's no boundaries. You let kids do what the fuck they want. They're fucking kids. I've seen so many kids in these generations now tell their parents, no, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. You're a child. You're in my kingdom. I'm your parent. I say what the fuck you do.
I mean,
that's the point.
I hear that.
You're a child. Sure. You're fucking 8. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. 8 years old. I don't know.
I'm just saying, even if you're 12 or 14,
do you know
you're under my house.
The suicide rate of transgender kids? And
I bet it's high.
With the kids with that are transgender, a hormone blocker might be akin to giving them like an antidepressant.
Yeah.
It is this different. So as soon as puberty